Hi guys, I'm back again with yet another video. So guys, straight to the point, what I will be actually doing on this one. I'll be just doing a market overview or market breakdown as usual of this currency pair and the other ones, right? So we're not gonna waste any further more time. Let me get right into it. So in front of me, I have euro versus the pound, which is euro GBP, right, on the daily time frame, because that is where we're going to get an indication as to what type of trend are we currently in, right? So what I see here on Euro GBP, I'm not gonna focus too much on the past price, which is all the way from here till there, because if I can do that, you can see that I've been moving in impulses, correction, impulse, correction. So impulse. So the market may be wanting to come at least say maybe there to give us a full correction before it continues with the upside momentum, which is, in other words, this is a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and also higher low. So waiting for this higher low, that will give the market enough room for it to actually go to the upside, because that is how the market has been moving in the past, and also how we probably may be anticipating it for it to go in the next coming time, right? But we're gonna focus here for now. So we are currently in this descending channel, which may later turn out to a bullish continuation flag, right? So it's also important, guys, not to be too much zoomed in, so that you can be able to see or spot what is it that is going on, because it's going to help you to understand the current price, because technical analysis is based on the past market behavior, right? Which is going to help you understand what is going on currently. So as you can see, currently we have this descending channel, which is we have that first touch, second at the top. So we also have 1, 2, and then anticipated third one right there, which is going to be a third one before the market goes up to the downside. I mean to the upside actually. So inside, I also see that we have this descending channel, which for me really is a signal that we may be exactly going to the downside as I have anticipated it. So as you can see, right, because on the 4-hour, you're more like looking for your levels, your pattern, and also to understand in a deeper sense as to what is going on inside the structure that you would have built for yourself. So if you look at this pattern now that is inside the pattern, which I'm going to explain right now as to what is it that is going on. So on EURGBP, now that we're in this descending channel, if we look at how the market has been behaving inside of this descending channel, you would see that we had this impulse move, then we had that correction, another impulse move, then we also had that correction, impulse move, then that correction, impulse. So now even inside this 4-hour one that I've just before, you can also see that we also have a correction inside here, which may warrant the move to the downside, where we're going to get the third touch, right? And also this is where the 90% rule of this inside pattern would be found. But the market may want to push a little bit more down to the downside before it can actually go to the upside, right? So you just need to understand this thing, guys. When you've built a trend, you need to go inside that trend so you can understand the market behavior, because it is what is going to help you anticipate the next movement. And I'm saying that because because if you notice here, we saw this pattern that is inside the overall daily trend, right? But even in spite of that, we can still even see that we have built another correction, because the market has been moving in these impulses and corrections. So automatically with something like this, we already know what is most probably to happen, which is the impulsive move to the downside. So we can get a third touch and or that third touch over there before the market can actually go to the upside. All right. So this is how you read the price, guys, and also understanding what is it that is going on. But yet again, we don't necessarily have to draw a trend line all the way to the downside, right? Sometimes to make everything simple, we can start off there, right? Because we can see there that we have a clear breakout, right? So as we understand that the market nature says, after every impulse move, we get a correction and then the impulse move. So it's quite clear to me that the next thing that we could anticipate on EURGBP is that after this impulse, and then this correction, so we may be in it for a what? An impulsive move to the downside for a third touch here or there before the market continues with the daily movement of the daily market behavior. that we saw on the daily time frame, right? However, if that does not happen, let's say maybe we are supposed to draw this like this, right? So what could potentially happen here as well, the market may push one last time to the upside before it can actually go to the downside, right? So I'm not necessarily going to go to the 1 hour time frame because I feel like everything is clear here on the 1 hour time frame, right? So let's move forward now to another currency pair, which is Euro USD. Okay, so you're gonna go now on Euro USD. So we're gonna start as well on the daily time frame, and then it's important for us to zoom out so that we can be able to spot what is it that is going on Euro USD. So on EU, guys, you can see that we have that so this is the previous high, right? But we also need to respect the fact that that is also a high now that is being created by the market. Okay, so this is what I see currently, right, on Euro USD on the daily time frame. So as we dwell furthermore down to the 4 hour time frame, now this is where everything is gonna be clear, because if we look left again, you can see that this is a new high that's been established, but the overall high, if the market does not respect the first one, then this is most likely where Euro USD would come before it actually give us the sells to the downside. But let's go now to the current price, because it's the one that's going to help us understand what is it that Euro USD is doing, right? So if we drag that resistance trend line a little bit low to the downside, you would see that okay, Euro USD is also building up a correction here, right? We are inside a correction, which is an as it's not yet a continuation flag, which is a bearish continuation flag, because it's still forming, right? And we're still inside it. It's only going to be a complete bearish continuation flag if the market end up breaking to the downside. And also you can see that we have a minor resisting level over there with a nice pin bar rejecting off of that resisting trend line off of that resisting trend line, and also that horizontal resistance, right? Because again here, what is it that is going on? Again, what is it that is going on Euro USD? We can see that we have an impulse move. So we are inside this correction. So only two things can happen for me. It's either the market can pull back up to reject off of that resistance if it does not respect this one, or it can just go back up for a third touch before it can actually go to the downside, which would actually mean that that would then be a head and shoulder pattern, right? But let's go to the 1 hour time frame so that we can see what is it that's going on. So now that we're on the 1 hour time frame, this is where everything now becomes clear. So as you can see, we have rejected off of that level because the market did not necessarily go back to this one to fill in those gaps. So we had like 1-2 near misses. So, but as you can see, impulse move, so we got this minor correction inside. So impulse move correction, so inside an impulse. So what is that's most likely to happen next? Euro USD may either continue going down, let's say maybe until there, because that's where the 90% rule is, or else it may wanna come here, push back up before actually going back to the downside. So that is my anticipation on Euro USD. So next up, I'm gonna go to the pair that is negatively correlated with Euro USD, which is USDCHF, right? So if you haven't noticed by now that there is a correlation amongst these two pairs, then you gotta check it out, because there is an accurate inverse correlation between these two currency pairs, right? So okay, I've already drawn my line over there. So what is it that's going on here, right, on the daily time frame? So on USDCHF, if we look left, you would see that okay, this is the last low, right, which the market may go to before it can actually start off going to the upside, right? But how will that happen? Because sometimes the market does not necessarily have to come all the way to this last low before it can actually push to the upside. And as we know that the dollar has been weak in the past few months, so that push to the upside, if everything goes well, is most likely to happen. But let's go now inside there so that we can get what is it that's going on. Because if you look there, we are kind of like establishing some sort of a double bottom right there, right? So we might be just establishing a double bottom over there with a nice bullish pin bar at that support level and also that supporting trend line. But we also need to take into consideration that we're still playing inside that small portion there. So let's go to the 4 hours. So now that we're on the H4, right? Now on the 4 hour time frame, because as you go lower, guys, that's where the price starts to become clear and clearer, right? So currently here we are inside this correction, okay? So if we look at what's going on here, well, this was an impulse move. This was a correction. So waiting for an impulsive move to at least stay there and come back down if that's what is going to happen. Meaning that if the market will end up wanting to come here, it has to create a proper or clear structure that will warrant the move to the downside before we can actually see buyers coming in and pushing the price to the downside, to the upside, all right, which is later on as the time goes by. But let's focus in here now as to what is it that is going on. So as you can see, we had this, we already have broken out of this bullish continuation pattern, which is this pattern inside this overall one, right? And then, like I said before in my previous videos, that after the market is broken out, look at how does it behave after the breakout, because this is a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So the fact that it's currently now coming down, it does not necessarily mean that this is a change of direction. We actually gonna go to the downside immediately after this, right? This could just be because we know that the market does not move linear. When it goes up, it just does not go up in a straight fashion or line. It has to give us retracements because that is its nature. So for me, if USDCHF is to go to the upside, then I would like to see what is it that's going to happen, at least when we reach this level, because that is where we could get our next low, right? That will warrant the move to at least that trend line for a third touch. As a result of what I just explained, that this is a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So if it's to continue going to the upside, it has to at some point to come back down so that it can get the strength to move furthermore to the upside, right? Then if that does not happen, then that will simply mean that if we're treating this as an impulse, then this may be a correction. And then if it ends up selling to the downside, it will be a result of this 3-touch correction, which is 1, 2. So that's a third touch. So if that's that's indeed a rejection candle, then we may actually see USDCHF going to the downside. Right. So let's go now to the 1 hour time frame so that we can get in it. So yeah. So this is what's going on. But for me, I wouldn't say it's a sell currently, but I'd rather wait at least until here so that we can see what is going to happen when the market reaches this level. Then obviously if it does break it, then it will simply mean that the market is coming back down to the downside, right? But we also need to take into consideration the daily candle. Because if you look at what's going on here, we have a nice pin bar there. And if you know your candles, you will know the power of that candle, right? Especially at the place that it is at. If that's a true level that the market is building up right now, and that's with that candle, then the market may push to the upside as opposed to going to the downside, right? So we can just wait for also that for that candle closure, which is the one that's currently running or that is on at the moment, right? So let's move forward now to what's the next P that we have on the lineup is GBP USD. So GBP USD, guys, is also similar, like they move similar with Euro USD. So that's also something that you can put an eye on if you didn't know, right? So again, it's important to be zoomed out so that we can properly understand what's up. So if you look at gain, we have that previous high, right? But we also have this one over there. Okay. So if I can draw a trend line, we can spot that, which is this is what you call an expansion channel, right? So it may come down before it can actually go to the upside, right? Or else it may just push furthermore to the upside, go down, and then go up, right? But let's see how will that materialize on the 4-hour time frame, right? So now that we're on the 4-hour time frame, as you can see, we fix the price here, or our technicals, right? So we can better understand what is it that the market is trying to tell us, and then we just follow it right here and then. Okay, so as you can see here, we have that first, second, and third touch. So if it pushes up, then it will obviously be a fourth one. Then at the bottom, we have like 2 already, which is 1, 2, so an anticipated third one here in some time in the future. So let's see if the market is it behaving in a way that favors the sellers, or is still buyers that are actually in control, right? So if you look at what's going on here, we also have a correction here, right? So it may take a while before this correction gets there, if that's the market, that's what the market is gonna do before it can actually go to the downside, right? But let's go to the 1-hour time frame. So now that we're on the 1-hour time frame, that is where now we get a little bit more closer to the current price, because at this point in time, this is where you start looking for entries, right? Because that is what is important at the end, which is pulling the trigger, right? But we need confirmations, we need information as to how will that materialize. You don't just buy just for the sake of buying. You don't just sell just because the daily time frame is telling you to, right? So now that we hear, what is it that's going on here? Right. So impulse move correction, but at the moment we don't necessarily have a level at which we can sell. Right. This is now not the time for me to say, okay, I would sell this market. It's a little bit unclear at the moment, but let's check on the 30-minute. So on the 30-minute, we can just see that, okay, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So it, by looks of things, it may just want to go back up before it actually goes down, right? But I just don't want to draw like so many trend line, but because you can see this is what's going on at the moment, right? Meaning that it can play between that resistance and that trend line up, at least it comes here. And then this is where the buy may occur if the market is to push to the upside, right? Because then what that would mean, impulse move, correction, and then when it is ready to buy, then it will obviously go to the upside in this manner or in this fashion. So yeah, guys, I feel like I've said so much already. So just not to waste time and make this video long, I will just stop it there. So if you enjoyed and like this video, just give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you're looking at any of these currency pairs that I have just broken down. I will most definitely see you guys on the next video.